It takes a lot to make a stew, a pinch of salt, and this guy too. It's William Tokarsky, and we are Super Kami Guru 9000. I am Corey, and joined with me is my good friend and cohort, Christian.
Hello, everyone. It's a good day for Super Kami, and it's a good day to conduct an interview like this. And thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
We had to go through so much to get you on here. I had to go through your agent, and then he sent me to his helper, and then finally, after I sent that press kit, they let me have you. Or I just called you on Facebook and you said, sure, I'll come. And I was
Why
like,
the
oh my
hell
gosh.
not?
Which we really cannot thank you enough for coming, because you've basically become like a local internet god to us. You know, I mean, because we're local people in Atlanta. You're a local actor, and Adult Swim is very near and dear to our hearts. And
A lot of hours watching it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's not too often I see an internet video like this where it seems like every other day I have to watch it. Like, there's something in my mind that says, Corey, you've had a good day, but before you go to bed, watch Too Many Cooks one more time. And I keep getting a lot of new things from it and appreciating a lot of things from it. I just want to thank you for that. It's so much fun. And it's just blown up.
Well, the person you have to actually thank for that is Casper Kelly, the creative genius behind it. He just unbelievable, you know. And his career is going to take off because of this. I mean, he's just.
Do you know his title? Is he like the creative director there, or like one of the large producers?
Are you talking about for Too Many Cooks, or
yes, for Too Many Cooks?
For Too Many Cooks, it's his baby.
Yeah, he brought that up.
He owns it. Period. In other words, he wrote, directed, and sat many sleepless nights with the editor Paul Painter when they put it together. I was very fortunate. I got to go halfway through the process and see a rough cut while they're working on it. But it's an interesting story.
Yeah, it's definitely a video that I've shown to at least 5 people. So I've watched the video 5 times, and it being 11 minutes, it gets to be quite an act at a certain point. And when you were doing that video, did you have any idea what it was like gonna be? Were you sitting there enjoying making that and being like, I'm not sure what this is yet?
Well, yes, I'd known Casper Kelly. I'd known him in the past. He and another gentleman by the name of Dave Willis, who was a creative consultant on Too Many Cooks, create and write and direct the show Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell on Adult Swim. We come out with season 1 with 6 episodes, and I was very fortunate enough to be hired as an extra on that show. And through that, I got to meet them, and I've got to meet some of the people in Adult Swim. And like any big corporation, they're slow to react, and they're slow to take advantage of the talent that they actually have on hand. But somewhere down the line, Casper came up with the idea of saying, you've got these 4 a.m. time slots that have nothing but phony infomercials where you're going to try to blow somebody's mind. He says, give me the budget, which was very small, less than 5 figures. Give me the budget, give me the time, and I have an idea I want to write. And he caught the executive vice president, Mike Lazo, I believe is his name, caught him at the right time, and he approved it, and Chris just ran with it. And then he come back with the first draft of it, and they made a few changes as to what they were going to do, and he got the funding. Now, the funding that low precipitated the fact that he really couldn't hire any big names, and it wasn't a union shoot. It was all non-union people, and it was mostly all extras. Extras were working the show.
Yeah, it does seem... One of the things I see as a guy that's in production, I immediately realized, how did you cast this thing? Like the whole project, it must have been, there's just a lot of people in it. I think like 60 some odd people.
The first casting was through Extras Casting Atlanta, an extras agency, where they sat down and tried to tie people together and asked a few of them to give us a short, just cell phone video type of thing. My role was actually down to 2 gentlemen, that myself and another man, who are on Your Pretty Face. Mm-hmm. And he had us both do a cell phone video and decided who he was. Now, the teaser for you is you'll have to figure out who the other guy was, because he's one of the 4 chefs.
Okay, I'll definitely
Okay.
look into that.
Yeah, he's one of the four chefs who was going to be the other character. Now, if you do your research and you look at Too Many Cook, or you look at Your Pretty Face, you'll find out who it is, because he is a regular, and he's going to be, like myself, doing a principal role on Your Pretty Face in season 2, which will air in July of 2015.
Wow, so you obviously have a lot coming up. What's some of your past work? Because we saw you were on Walking Dead, you were on a few other things.
I believe Anchorman 2 is one that I saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
I retired after 25 years at General Motors, and there was a film being filmed locally in the city where I live. A Robert Duvall movie called Get Low, nice little film. And there were people standing around working as extras. And I had conversation with them, and I said, well, I could do that. So I just gradually started doing it. And I think the first thing I did was The Odd Life of Timothy Green, a Disney movie. And what was happening little by little is they kept moving me up front and trying to put me in a what is commonly called a featured position. Doesn't pay anymore, but it's basically a featured position. Something to the point where you get a little face time, you get a little recognition, and
Does it have
you know.
lines, or is that maybe?
No. There are no, to get lines is like winning the lottery.
Okay, that's how I describe acting all the time. I'm like, it's like the lottery, but you have to be good at it too.
And for me, I got real lucky. I have done, like you said, Anchorman. I had a real featured position role in that. I did The Walking Dead for a full season, but The Walking Dead, they're interesting people. I really like them, but they tend to, if you get too much face time, they're not going to use you anymore. So if you look for me in season 3, you'll find me hiding in the background with hat and sunglasses on, because I live near where they shoot, and I really valued working it because it was not a long commute. The interesting story of The Walking Dead for me is I had a beautiful shot in the season 3 finale. They filmed a 2-hour season finale. And if you watch the show at all, it was...
Oh, yeah, we're fans.
All right. It was in the Tombs when we raided the prison and we're going around. Well, the scene I was involved in is after the tear gas goes off, I put a bandana on my face, and I seem to have lost my M16 that I just killed a few zombies with a little bit earlier. And I come around a corner in the Tombs, in the cavernous walkways, as it would be, and I peek around the corner, and there's Rick with his back to me, stringing barbed wire across the passageway to create a booby trap. I lean back with my left hand. I pull out a Glock, lean against a wall, draw it down to shoot, and before I squeeze it off, a sword comes up through the center of my
Your chest.
You got me shoned.
Nah. So then the sword pulls back. I fall to the ground. A figure standing there with a gas mask on pulls the gas mask off, and there's Michonne. And then she puts the sword in my head. But because they reduced it down to a 1-hour season finale, that one's still in the editor's closet.
Oh, wow.
So working as an extra, you do a lot of things like that, where you end up doing a lot of good footage, and then it never gets used. Even as a minor actor, a day player, as it would be, you'll do things and it'll never show, or you'll do things and just a small snippet of it what will show.
I have a friend that did a day playing role on Let's Be Cops, and he had a lot of lines, but man, they reduced him down to nothing.
Who was it?
Chaz Harvey is his name.
I think I know him. I know him.
He's a good guy, and he was like, yeah, I sat there all day, and we did a lot, and I did a lot of, but he did a lot of reactions, so I think they were just getting a variety on him for the editing room. And but the movie world is, wow, there's a lot going on in Atlanta right now. I think we're really lucky to be here.
Last month there were 26 TV shows and films filming at the same time.
Yeah, it's great to be in this industry. And, I don't find myself doing much movie work because I don't really care for the long days. I do a lot of corporate work for companies. and I produce video for them and their websites. So the movie world is a lot of fun if you enjoy, being there in the moment and that creative stuff. But the hours beat me down a lot.
You cannot have a family. You cannot have other things in your life. You have to answer your master when she calls you.
Yes, you'll get a request for an audition and you got to record it
Immediately.
Yeah, you got to get it out there. And
Extra works the same way.
oh, I'm sure. I never went that route. When I was first beginning, I was very interested about being on a set in any way I could. And I did a lot of things, mostly PA work though. And then I realized, I was like, oh, I'm really good at editing and a whole bunch of other things. Why don't I just use those skills and sort of
There
hover around
is
the
a
industry that way?
demand in Georgia for people on the other side of the camera. A big demand.
We're really lucky that crew gets so many opportunities. We're not like, in the same position where you are, where you have to get picked by someone. If I just show up with enough skills, they need 10 of me. So
Yes, they do.
yeah. So, what was Anchorman like? Was that just a single day, or?
Anchorman was terrific. I worked 5 days with them downtown Woodruff Avenue, driving a checkered cab, a 1965 checkered cab, in endless loops around Woodward Park, which was turned into Fifth Avenue in New York. And out of that, 3 of us were picked to do a studio shot where you're sitting in the cab and it's all green screen and lights above you act like the street light going around. Guy with a set of headlights aiming at you, guy with a set of brake lights aiming at you.
By you?
No, just everything's, we're standing still.
Okay.
A long pole sitting on an apple box with a guy moving the vehicle so it looks like you're going. And Will Ferrell and what was her name?
I'm not
Love. But anyway, the young black female lead that was in the show, in the back of the cab with me. But they also did another cab ride with another friend of mine, an extra, driving to the location. They did another shot with another friend of mine, just him and the girl on a cab ride. And they never made it.
Interesting, but you did.
But mine did. It's just,
You know the right people?
No. What it has to do with mainly is the fact that when they make a movie, they have so much time to put it in, and they film all this stuff, and then the thing that gets thrown away are the things that are featuring extras. You know? And if they needed another 30 seconds, I could have been gone and just a close-up of them in the back of the cab.
Yeah.
So it's just...
That's true.
Just never know.
Yeah, because the only world that exists is the one the camera's getting.
Now, my big break, my financially rewarding break, was the Hunger Games' second movie, Catching Fire. I was signed up for 6 days to be an extra. We were out in the Pullman yards doing some scenes, and I got back after the 5th day to set for break and got my phone out and opened it up, and there's a text from my extras casting director saying, "You have a speaking line next week if you want it."
Whoa. Not audition for it. It's
No,
yours.
you have a speaking line next week if you want it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who is figured this out, how to mess with me, because I didn't think it was for real at first. So I got home, I called her, and yes, I did. And it was from the book. You know, there was a line in the book. If you watch the movie Catching Fire, when Katniss's boyfriend.
Which one? She gets around.
Liam Helmsworth's character is tied to a whipping post, and he's being whipped by one of the head peacekeeper.
Yeah, I remember that. The guy without the mask.
Right. She breaks through the crowd there. Well, in the book, and what we filmed was when she breaks through the crowd, there's a little old lady who auditioned months before, an actress by the name of Jill Jane Clemens. She auditioned months before as an old lady to say something to her, and my role was 6 little words. You want to get him killed? That was it, you know. And she's going to face me and run away. Well, it was beautiful. I made almost $2,500 in 2 days doing those lines over and over and over. But the big reward is I've already drawn like $3,500 in residuals.
Whoa.
And it was never in the movie. They cut it.
Really?
Yes, they cut it.
They cut it.
Yeah.
But I guess because when you turn into a
You sign a contract.
yeah, when you turn into a speaking role, it's
When
different.
when I got on set that day, there was my dressing room, a trailer, with my freshly laundered wardrobe in there, my contract waiting for me, and my ride up to lunch, or breakfast rather, with a pre-production meeting with Jennifer Lawrence, Woody Harrelson, and the director Francis Lawrence to talk about what we're going to do the day. I never have figured out who actually tapped me on the shoulder and says, this is your, but I really liked it, and that's what got me wanting to pursue actually acting.
Is it because you saw some numbers? You saw the real ability to make a living?
I just liked the treat. I didn't see the numbers till much later. But,
I guess that's true, yeah.
But I really liked the treatment. I liked the...
royalty. Movie set royalty.
Yeah, right. I mean, and this is just a little under 5 player. These are day players that come in and just you have less than 5 lines, But they were very nice to me, and so I really liked that, And lunch was terrific,
I bet it was.
Yes.
I've been on a few really big sets, and they spare no expense when they really want to have someone to like being there. Because you got to be there all day, so you might as well like it.
Yes.
And they make it a good experience for you.
But that's what really got me pursuing it. But this was right about the time I was working for Adult Swim on the first season of Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. And it was long after this, while I found out real quickly that I knocked on the agent's doors and says, hey, I've got a speaking line. I'm a big shit now. They weren't interested at all. Nobody was really interested in me because there's no little lines at the bottom of your resume saying what actually training you have, what you've actually learned, and what other little independent films and things that you've done along the way. So gradually I started doing some little independent films and taking classes. I have a favorite school. Can I mention them?
Yes, please. Shout them out.
Drama Inc. over near the Atlanta Zoo. They're just excellent for people like me, especially for like stage actors that now want, in the community theater that want to come take advantage of the movie and TV industry is here. They will show you how to audition. They will show you how to act for the camera, which is a little different than acting on stage.
Oh, I'm sure that you have to project a lot more on stage and a few other things.
Well, you got to get reeled in is what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Because stage actors, like you say, they like to project. Yes.
Yeah. Do you so now that you feel like you have some education under your belt, that's really like what's going to make your resume that much better for, let's say, for an aspiring actor?
Well, since then what occurred was I got my second SAG contract on Your Pretty Face.
Okay.
Chris Kelly, or Casper Kelly as we call him now, when I did Too Many Cooks, and Too Many Cooks sat for a year because there was no budget. So what Too Many Cooks did was they says, okay, you're a special effects house. We can't pay your going rate because we've got this little bitty budget. So here's what we want to do, and you do it in your spare time and let us know when it's done. So that's how they did all the special effects.
Like all the animation.
I love being animated. I really love
the
that.
G.I. Joe guys and all that stuff. Yeah.
And the space people and all of.
Wait, what's those lines?
Oh gosh, that's the thing about Too Many Cooks. Just it really appeals to our generation because we grew up with those shows. But when that Star Trek pit, the Battlestar Galactica came up, just the feels and just the voices that came from there, it was amazing.
Yes. Well, none of that was apparent to us when we filmed it. But you're just working in front of a green screen, so you don't.
Like, how'd they get your? Obviously, I know they use computers and programs, but how did they make you act for you shooting lasers out of your mouth?
Just standing in front of a green screen.
Okay.
And what Casper does is he tries lots of different options. I was going to project the lasers out of my eyes. I was going to project them out of my mouth. Just various different motions. And then when they put it together with the editor, then they will figure out exactly what they're going to use and how they're going to use it. So,
and the other thing I find so interesting about that video is you don't get the joke until you're 3 or 4 minutes in. Like there's just you're like, oh, this is just going to keep going. Like you don't realize that.
What I liked about it though is it's also like a multi-layered joke. It's not just a parody on old TV shows. I think one of the most fun things about the video, and I didn't even realize it until the third time I watched it, is that you're hidden in the background in so many different places.
Let me say this about that. Okay. I watched the video when it first aired, 4 a.m. I've been waiting for a year for this to come
You're
out.
like, damn it, I'm going to see it.
So I watched it, right? And then so, I watched it and I DVR'd it and watched it again and went to bed and that sort of thing. And then you get on the computer and look and you find these things we're talking about where I showed up in 22 seconds. And I'm saying...
There was a BuzzFeed article. Which is
exactly.
A BuzzFeed article about here's the 10 places you didn't know that Too Many Cooks Killer was before he showed up.
And I didn't know I was there. And damn it, I was there when we filmed it.
So they didn't even tell you that, we're gonna hide you in all the background.
Yes, they told me to a degree. They says, here, I want you to stand here, and they film something. So it's like, okay, I'm standing here. Or like when I was standing up on the stairs, I figured something out there. But the other times, like standing behind the girl and that sort of thing, you don't know what the camera's actually looking at. And this was like over a year since I did it. So it's like, you lost track of exactly.
How'd you know that video blew up? Like, when did you start realizing this is making me well-known online?
When we finished it, we shot in 3 days. We shot in the stages that Single Lady used to shoot at here in town. We shot it in 3 days, and I told Casper, I says, and he laughs about this now. I told him, I says, this thing is either going to die on the 4 a.m. time slot and never be seen, or it's going to go viral. Now, he didn't believe me when I said that, but that was my take on it then. But what surprised me was how fast it went viral.
Yeah, it kind of blew up. It was definitely a big thing.
I followed it very, very closely, and it was like, we watched the 4 days, it was on the 4 days, and that was it. And then the weekend, somebody put it up on YouTube on a bootleg. And it's like got 4 million hits. The gentleman that plays the dad, Ken Delosier, is a friend of mine as well. And Ken keeps sending me this stuff. He's just, he's on top of it. And his wife, Tara, she and I have worked together on other things. Tara Oates is her name. She's got a big breakout role coming in Selma. One of the special effects gentlemen, Chris, and I don't remember his last name right now. Chris designed Smarf, and he's in the process now of going to create his little character. But Adult Swim is very slow to take advantage of. Disney's got the stuff in place long before the thing comes out. Adult Swim is finally coming around to we're going to market some T-shirts. The interesting thing is the corporation really wasn't on top of it. I never signed a release. The thing went viral, and I could have done anything I wanted with it.
That's
but
true.
The producer from Your Pretty Face, a gentleman by the name of Alex Orr, is also the producer for Too Many Cooks, said to me, I need you to sign this release. And I says, sure, Alex, I'd be happy to sign this for you. I said, oh, by the way, if there's a season 3 of Your Pretty Face, I'd like to get a contract. He said, I'll see what I can do. So,
planting the seeds.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people that called me and says, hey, they're asking me to sign a release. I says, well, they're a family down there, and if you... like I did Your Pretty Face and got pulled into Cooks, and they do that sort of thing, and I look for Casper to get a music video right out the box. Somebody's going to hire him to direct their music video, and if he gets one, I expect that about at least a third of the people that were on Cooks will show up there somewhere.
Yeah, because he just has the ability. That's his network now. He's developed that network. Why would he not use you guys?
He put his arm around me recently and says, I said, what if you don't need a killer? He says, next time I use you, he says, you're going to be in a totally different role. And I really like that,
Yeah, have you been feeling the echoes of that role, like appearing in what you're getting now?
Yes, and I'm embracing it because at my age, and I'm 66 years old, I can't travel the normal route everyone would travel to say I want to build a broad career and I don't want to be typecast. I want to take advantage of this, get in, and then if they want to use me somewhere else. One of the biggest reasons, and this is a cute story I tell. One of the biggest reasons I got into working as an extra is I told my grandson, my 7-year-old grandson at the time, I says, I want to be in an Academy Award-winning movie like The Godfather with Marlon Brando, and I want to be that extra that handed him that piece of fruit right before he got shot. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And the guy was featured, and he will live forever. So then when my grandson is 66 years old, he can show that to his grandson and say, this was my pap. So now, be careful for what you wish for, you may get it. Too Many Cooks is going to be around 60 years from now.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be able to show, anyone's going to be able to look at that probably forever now.
But so I'm going to live forever. But I'm going to live forever as a machete-wielding, maniacal killer.
That's true. So what were you eating at the table when?
Yeah, when you're eating the foot, what exactly were you eating?
We had catered in barbecue for lunch.
Okay.
So all they did was put some barbecue out in front, along with the effects from Chris and Shane Morton. Shane Morton, who does the zombie apocalypse. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
Is that what is that?
It's a show in town.
Oh, zombie apocalypse. Okay, yes.
And he also does like the they had the monster wrestling at Six Flags, and at any rate, that's a lot of his stuff there that were props. Now I never did figure out that connection till it came out, but. No problem. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite scene that you worked on, or like a sequence when filming Too Many Cooks?
I enjoyed the space stuff, because I didn't know what it was going to look like when we did it. The Admiral is a friend of mine, and I've since taken a screenshot of that and put up "Resistance is futile, you will be assimilated," just to take off on the old the Bork thing. But yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed that because I didn't know what it would look like. I didn't know what.
Yeah, you're working in front of a green screen the whole time, so you don't have the vision. I guess they didn't have storyboards sitting around for you.
No, they worked from a shot list in their mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
A shot list in their mind.
I'm sure they had a storyboard at some point in time that probably got lots and lots of changes, but by the time they got ready, they had a shot list of what they were, and we didn't shoot necessarily in order, which really tended to confuse you if you were trying to figure it out when you were doing it.
Yeah, I could imagine. Wow. Well, I mean, I feel like you're definitely on an upswing in your career, and we're happy we got to meet you and share some of your memories doing your acting and things like that. It's been quite a journey for you.
It's been a trip.
So what are goals for 2015?
For me?
Yeah.
I'd like to be the creepy janitor in a TV show somewhere that doesn't have a whole lot of lines, that just looks at the little girls or
I mean, it doesn't take dialogue. I just want to say this: you're one of the nicest human beings I've ever met, and you came across as so menacing in that video.
Well,
and you didn't have any dialogue, and that is a sign of good acting. It really is.
I am going to Detroit January 2nd for two young men, the Cooper brothers, who won a film festival out in Hollywood, Holly Shots. They want to do a film with me as a methodical assassin with no dialogue and all voiceover. In other words, just like a cook just loves what he's doing as far as preparing and getting ready. So I'm going to go up for 2 days and shoot it. Okay. And there's no money involved. It's just, hotel room, airplane, and, they're going to feed me,
It doesn't cost you anything?
It's a life experience.
Yeah. And these are young men, just like Casper Kelly was, young and starting in. So if they have a big project, I would expect, that I could go back to them.
And I think it also shows you, in your experience, that the biggest budget doesn't always mean the best thing. It's the best ideas.
Did you see my 48-hour film festival?
Yes, I did. I forget the name of the title.
It's called Lifelines.
Lifelines. I saw that, and
same thing. Very little dialogue.
Yeah, but very well shot and very interesting.
Normally I don't do 48 hours because they're crazy, and someone from Too Many Cooks, one of the characters, the for real peeping Tom, Will Dove, was friends with these people and recommended me to do this. It was a last minute thing. I looked him up on Facebook, and there wasn't a single person I knew in the group in Facebook. And these people, if you have a $10 million home and you're going to sell it, they're the people that come out and do the videotape, put the drone flying over and all that sort of thing.
Real estate videos. Okay.
Well, real estate. They just did one for a big implosion that come in town where they had multiple cameras and a drone above and put it to music. So they're very creative individuals, all 20-something folks. And that was just a beautiful film. The camera angles and the dual whatever, I don't want to
you're in two places at once and things like that. It had a very nice twist.
It was but I love it because there's no dialogue. It's just just me emoting, and that's basically what I did for 3 years as an extra.
That's great. Well, it obviously seems that you're comfortable where you're at, and
I love it.
We definitely wish you the most success, and thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to put this up as soon as we can, and we'll let you know. And everyone,
do you have any other projects or anything you want to promote?
You want to shout out or anything?
If you're an Adult Swim fan, Your Pretty Face right now is on the internet. Season 1, there's 6 episodes. Season 2 is going to start in July, and it's got a budget. So.
Awesome. And what is the last short film you were just a part of? Lifelines, is that what you said?
Lifelines, 48-hour project, and I have a little short. A friend of mine, also by the name of Chris Kelly, just did, and I was hoping it would be up for this, but it's a Creepy Santa. It should be out in a day or two.
If you send us that link or something, we
can share that with our viewers.
I would. I will do that. It'll be a YouTube link. Yes.
No problem. We'll put it in the video description, guys, as soon as it comes out as well. And thank you again so much. And everyone, you can find this gentleman. We're online too. We're on Facebook or Twitter. Do you have anything?
I just my normal Facebook page, and anybody that friend requests me, I normally accept their friend, and then I send them the copies of my stuff so it gets more hits.
There we go. He knows what he's doing, people. Okay, well, if you want to see more videos like this, you guys check us out on Facebook. That is Super Kami Guru 9000, and also we're on Twitter, SKG9K. And until next time, you guys, Super Kami Guru 9000 out.